Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
Yeah. Listen, success is whatever you make it. If you want to be happy, you want to provide for your family.
Live.
You gotta put that work in, man. You gotta go get
Learn.
See, listen, this is what I tell them.
Serve.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals.
Inspire.
I go out and I go get it. How to go,
You're in the
that's
right
all I know. I
place.
don't
You're
succeed
checking
if I
out
don't breathe.
Chip
Success,
Baker,
what does it
the
mean?
Success
If I
Chronicle.
conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of Success Chronicles. And today we have my guy, Brian Keith, with us. And great guy, great story. So let's dig in. How are you today?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for the opportunity, man.
Thank you. Talk to us about your life story. You know, were you born, were you raised, and those kind of things.
Thank you for asking, man. Born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I just hit the mystical, magical age of 44. I'll be 45 this year. I hope I don't look like it. I hope I don't sound like I'm from Texas, even though I love it. Man, I've done a lot of things in my life, but what I've come to here recently is entrepreneurship. And when I say by recently, I've been running a business for about 10 years. And lo and behold, I found out that there is some value in giving people information about entrepreneurship. I didn't think it was. Now, I went into the concept of entrepreneurship basically from, I kept on getting fired, Chris. I just kept getting fired. That's the bottom line. They kept letting me go. Everywhere I would go, they let me go. And usually I would get let go for a set of circumstances that boil down to me speaking up for myself. That's pretty much why I would get let go. I speak up for myself, or I'd be in this constant state of having to train my supervisor. Here's a guy, we want you to train him, and he's going to be your boss in a couple of months. What? Right? So I kept hitting that glass ceiling. I kept being in an environment where I had a dead-end job. So for me, entrepreneurship gave me an opportunity to actually, because here's the thing, you usually have to have a certain degree of pedigree to work for the company, but you don't have to have that to own the company. So what I'm trying to get people to do is, look, think about your talents, think about your gifts, think about your abilities. Think about the fact that you have a job and they're paying you X amount of dollars per year to do whatever it is that you do. No company in the world is going to pay you $50,000 a year and then get $50,000 worth of output out of you. They have to get more from what you're producing. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. There's no return on investment. You've heard of ROI, right? If there's no return on investment from what you do as an employee, there's something wrong with that. They're going to get rid of you. If they pay you 50 and you make them 50, then that's zero. So truthfully, as an employee, you probably make 2 times, 3 times, 10 times more than your salary for the company, right? So if you making 10 times, if you have 10 times more value for your company than they're actually paying you, that is a proof of concept. That proves that the market says your talents, gifts, and abilities are worth something. So why not hang your own shingle? Why not get your own LLC and do whatever you do for the company? Do it for yourself and cut the middleman out. If you cut that middleman out, your pay is going to jump up.
That's a good philosophy right there.
Amen.
I'm still trying to soak that in.
Amen. Amen. Hey, if you got a job, that is a proof of concept. If somebody's willing to pay you for what you do in the marketplace, obviously they like it. They keep paying you.
No doubt.
Why don't they pay you directly? And if they pay you directly, you cut out the middleman, you make more money. Period.
Yeah. What are three things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Man, good question. Good question. Well, first thing, marrying my wife, man.
Mm-hmm.
Marrying my wife. I'm very proud of that, man. I got a ride or die chick. I've got a wife that's been with me for 23 years. Even though she's not been my wife for 23 years, she's been in my corner for 23 years. And I'm proud to be able to say from 21 years old, this woman has had my back. And that's something. Number two, I'm proud of some of the things I was able to overcome. There's some addictions in my background, some addictions in my family's background, and I've been able to overcome those. Whether it be sex addiction or drug addiction or just addiction to failure,
Right.
just doing enough, So that's number two. And then number three is I feel like I'm hitting scale right now. And what I mean by hitting scale, I feel like I'm actually, people talk about your why. Like, what's your why? Okay, well, I think your why is synonymous with your purpose.
Yes.
And I think your purpose is synonymous with fulfillment. So when you know that you're operating in your purpose is when you have fulfillment. So my purpose and your purposes are different. My level and your level are different, but am I fulfilled in what I do? So to me, it's not about money. It's not about status. It's not about fame. Are you fulfilled? Because I've met people who had a lot of money, but they weren't happy.
Correct.
And I've met people with little money who were completely fulfilled.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because they knew who they were. They knew what their value was. And so I would think, now if you ask me tomorrow, I'll probably have three different things. But today, those are the three things. Yes, sir.
It's a good three, man. Good three.
Yes, sir.
What's your definition of success?
What is my working definition of success? I think it alludes to what we talked about before. I think the success for people is different, but I think mainly success is fulfillment. Success is conquering the demons. Success is never failing, not giving up. Some people say it's either you win or you listen or it's a lesson. There's no losses. There's no L's. It's either a win or a lesson. And so to me, the success is in keeping going, keeping it moving. To me, the person who is a second generation American is just as successful as a person who's become a millionaire. So I can't necessarily say that if I do this makes me successful. Well, what did you overcome? What do you have to deal with? If everybody in your family up to this point was a sex addict, if everybody in your life up to this point was a drug addict, and you are the one person who's not a drug addict and a sex addict, that to me is success. I don't care if you work at McDonald's. That's success.
I totally agree with you. What do you think it takes to achieve success?
Wow. I think it takes a lot of things, right? First of all, you got to be honest. You got to be honest that your status quo isn't working. You got to look at your life and say, because we talk about the inability to self-assess. You got to self-assess. You got to look at your life and say, you know what? This is not working. And here's the thing. I can't compare myself to Chris. I have to compare me to my best self. Because if I compare myself to the standards of others, there's always somebody I'm doing better than. I'm always beating somebody else out in terms of how I'm performing. But am I performing as high as I can perform? Yeah. So to me, it's all about focusing on how good can I be compared to me? Am I better than I was yesterday? Have I given it my all?
That's it. Like you said, the working success. I think it's a work in progress.
Gotta be.
We're all a work in progress, and we got to make sure that, I think it's a daily process to just, like you said, self-evaluate each day. So next day, I see what I need to be better on, and then that's how you make continual progress.
That's it. And then to add to that, because I think this is such a deep question, we can go so deep, is you got to surround yourself with people who, because I hope that we can continue to conversate, have a conversation, you and I, but you got to surround yourself with people who are trying to do what you're trying to do.
Yeah. You
got to surround yourself with people who are trying to win, and you got to be honest about some relationships. There's some relationships that can't keep happening. There's some friends that you've had from years ago who they're buddies and you love them and you want to make sure that they're good, but those aren't the people who want to push you to your destiny. So now, today, I'm looking at friends and enemies differently. To me, a friend is the person who gives me the information to help me accomplish that big bad word we said earlier, purpose. Yeah. That's a friend. Whoever helps me accomplish my purpose is my friend. Whoever holds me back from my purpose is my enemy. And sometimes we get friends and enemies mixed up.
Yeah, I have a good friend, Terrence Price, and he spoke before, and he talked about, who's in your crew.
Ooh.
You got to evaluate who's in your crew, and he talked about, growing up, you have friends, and, your parents always, hey, don't hang around, those people looking out for, you didn't know, you don't know,
right,
why they doing that. You're like, Mom, that's my whole boy. Why,
that's my man.
Yeah, But, when they would come around, they'd ask the question, who's your people?
Right, right. That's good. I like that, man. I like to see sometimes it takes that. See, my family, I'm glad that you asked or you mentioned that comment. My family's from Arkansas. I'm from Texas, but my mom's from Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And they got that country thing. Yeah. And so they got this little thing where everybody goes by their middle name. So if anybody calls you by your first name, your proper name, your government name, that's somebody, right? That's somebody who knows you from work or school and they know you formally. But if somebody calls you by your middle name, you already know those are your people.
Yeah, those are your people.
Yeah, those are your people. Yeah, so you immediately turn around and there's a different set of values there. You know that they really know you. They know where you're from. So I appreciate what you said. That's good.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Thank you guys for joining this episode, and we'll see you next time. God bless.
God bless.
Go get it.